Good
Attention all
afternoon.
aircraft. Altimeter 3032.
Good afternoon. We're back in Ketchikan. We're just going to use the default today. We're going to fly to Juneau. I'm actually on a different computer flight simulator because there are times I like to see because they all have different setups, and I like to see how the graphics display on one as opposed to the other, using the different variants, whether it be beta. Today we're using beta as opposed to the default, um, as opposed to using flight sim heaven, as opposed to map enhancement. Uh, so today I decided, well, let me just use the default one on the beta version. Let's just see how it goes and see how the flight is, and we'll go from there. So we are gonna, let's see, just turn around and we can head back into town. Um, every time and I go into a place, and especially in Alaska, just looking at what what would appear for the basic ground, I'm always kind of curious about what does that neighborhood look like. So I decided to take a little drive and check things out. And here, this is, I don't know if the actual Ketchikan even looks this way. Um, it would be awesome if it did. Um, but like I said, I doubt it. Um, it does look realistic though, and it does make you wish you had your license in your back pocket and your tackle gear in the trunk, and you just pull over and start fishing. Um, woohoo. Don't worry, this is how I normally drive when I'm behind the wheel anyway, so I'm used to this. Even going under the bridge, my little shortcut. Thank God roads really aren't built this way with a severe lane, because you can imagine stopping here. This reminds me of like when I took a tour of a Daytona racetrack, and we actually um, whined enough where we actually got the driver to take us on the track itself. And he wouldn't go at the top groove because it's almost a vertical. Um, it is a vertical path, but we went on the lower part of the turns there, and even there, even with the tour bus, we took a really severe lean like this, and he had to, and he told us, he said, yeah, like even in the races, the cars have to maintain a certain speed in order for the centripetal force to hold them against the wall. Otherwise, they call it a self-cleaning track. I think Talladega's the same one, as well as because of the angle um, of the track, that if you were to stop, your car would just slide down and and whatnot. So that's what I'm just thinking. What goes through my mind when I'm, like when I was on that road surface back there, but there was, man, there was quite an angle there. It kind of reminded me of Talladega and Daytona. So if you stopped, let's say in the winter, icy conditions, You might slide into the water. Excuse me. I think the airport is to our right. I think what fascinated me was because a number of times that I've flown in here, this because of I assume because of the way it blends into the ground, it looked as if the road surface was actually out in the water, and it's like, okay, is that a? And I was just curious about, is there a bridge built out here? Which we're under a bridge now. Um, that you're like a low water bridge like they have down south, or is it the surface? Because most of your roads in Alaska that border the water, you're actually are going to be on the water's edge. I don't know why they do that, but I love the view. Yep, just to be welcome downtown Ketchikan right there. Wow. Okay, so it looks like here we're going to be going further out the sound and really not. Doesn't seem to be a bridge to take us. It's an interesting house. Take us across the water to the airport. Wow, that was sudden acceleration, boy. Okay, so now we got a James Bond car that skims the water surface. Okay, back to another self-cleaning road surface. Oh man. Okay, so today we'll be flying Alaska Airlines. It looks like an Airbus A321. Um, the forecast actually is VFR conditions out of Ketchikan. There's no clouds. The temperature is 2 degrees, dew point 8. The winds are out of the north, 330 degrees, 7 knots. And yeah, so, and 3004 is the barometric pressure. So let's go ahead and get inside and get the show on the road here. I downloaded a sound pack for the A321. Has I have BSS for the 319, but it doesn't seem like it has the same lineup for the A320 and the 321, so I didn't download it. And I've been using the Fly with Lua on our previous flights, and I decided to let me go ahead and download the tallest sound pack for their own airplane, and everything. I have no idea whether this has got it's got a Lua um, application in the plugin, but I have no idea what it does. This will be my first time using it. Um, this is an interesting sound because I never heard that before. But one of the things I do like about these sound packs is if you notice how the sound varies depending upon where you are in the airplane. Let's go ahead and get up in the cockpit now. And according to my pilot, my co-pilot, it's pretty much set up now. It's um, just got to do a couple last steps. Which you know what? Before I do that, let's just to let the ground people know. Turn on the lights. Shoot. Okay. So, where was I? Oh yeah. Okay. Down 0.1. No, I don't think I'll be needing the flex temperature here. I'll just go ahead and toga out of here. Um, kind of like toga myself. Now, so far out of here, our planes have taken off pretty good. Not quite space shuttle takeoffs like the MD-88s, but we've been getting out of here really well, and I kind of like that. So let's go ahead and there was curiosity on this here. Um, I don't have it on here. Okay, so we're pretty much. I'm gonna leave it. Just not even gonna bother with it. Okay, so let's get over here. Our route. We can pick it up. It'll be here. Okay. All right. So according to here, where we're going to take off and immediately double back, and then so we're going to head west, double back, head east, double back again, and head west to Juneau, Alaska, where we're going to make a right and land at runway 8 in Juneau. Okay, so our flight time is ballpark of around 48 minutes. So to do all of this, so let's keep going here. Let me get this map back to where it was. I kind of like that. Okay. And have it follow. Okay. So,
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
already. So run the APUs. Get this set up. This set up. Oh. Okay, this will be very interesting. Here, while they look up the airplane. The,
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
perfect. So while he's doing that, bother the flight attendant and see if I can get me some ice and soda pop to wet my whistle before we take off here. Really don't.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, 1 second here. It takes a second to pour my soda. Literally, you would have thought I got planned that before the flight, eh? Parking brakes released. Hmm. Well, that's not good. Let's go take a quick look here and make sure we're set up correctly. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's all right. Wait a minute. Go back here real quick. Really don't need those the last two, but that's the right one. Okay. I hear when I'm looking these over. Now, fortunately, A320. There we go. Hmm, don't have rudder pebbles here. Oh my goodness. So we're not set up on this airplane for some reason. How strange is that? And two, correct? And this would be one. Okay, so that's zero. Um, am I doing the wrong one? Yeah, it was. Okay. Everything else pretty much stays the same. Oh, um, ignore, ignore. Okay. Now the tallest it's um 9 and 10. I did 9, correct? Yes. And then 10 will be start. El normal 23, number 23. Okay. Okay. This is number 15, so that would be landing gear up and 24 landing gear down. And number 16 would be auto brake. I don't really like that. No, that should be that should be RTO, not low. Okay. 17 should be auto brakes low. 18 auto brake medium. 19 max. 20 for safety max. Okay. I don't need to do the autopilots off, disconnect, or anything like that because I rarely use these controls when I do that. So check real quick. Okay, our crates are not doing what they're supposed to do. Okay. We need to reverse the speed brake. Okay. Okay, so how strange is that? Let me just go through these. I can do the brakes another time. That kind of bugs me down. Hmm. 17. 18. I guess it helps to spell the word correctly. Ah, there we go. Go to 16 real fast. That should be. No, that's correct. 16 would be. 17 would be disarm. There we go. 17 would be off. 18 would be 1. 19 would be position 2. Am I saying this right? Yeah, nice. Mm, okay. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. So that's good. Oh yeah, that's right. And then the engine ignition. Okay. I'll fight with the settings for the auto brakes with it every time. The ADHD in me just says we gotta do it now, but 5. Oh. We never did. Well, okay. Master. Okay. Number 5 would be master on. Number 6. Well, wait a minute. What did we just do? Oh, yeah, 5. So engine master on. Number 6 would be um, number 2 on. 21 would be off. Yeah. And 22 should be number 2 off. Okay, so I don't use rudder trim. Now, how in the world is what's up with number 1? That would be number 21. Oh, okay. So we need to fix that, but let me go take care of this one first. And then 20 should be brakes. Okay. Alrighty then. And all the others I can just actually set from here in the airplane. But I believe he said release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay. I did not hear a change in this engine sound. But I do see there's a change on the dial here. Wow, got an N2 bump right away. Got an EGT rise. That man's doing his job. Get some flow back there. Got an N2 bump. In one bump. Sorry. And we have fuel flow, which means we're going to have a light off. Okay. We're switching to number 2 now while number 1 is doing its thing. We got an N2 bump. Got an EGT rise. Yeah, you people wait for me. Got an N1 bump. Fuel flow, which means we're going to have a light off.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brakes are set. While he's doing
Disconnecting
that,
tow. Stand by.
okay, you stand by. Okay, how come nobody told me, hey, you might want to calibrate that Logitech while you're at it? Okay, so we're gonna rock and roll here, dude. Oh, here we go. It's my angle of attack. Yeah, nah, bruh. They're gonna be one and the same. Yeah, that's gonna be a nothing on that. Okay, all of that's gonna be, yeah, yeah, doing nothing. There's, absolutely no reason. Well, I should have duplicate controls between my quadrant and this is just flying. Okay. Oh, correction. brakes. I don't have on this upstairs. I don't have pedals, so we're gonna have to go with brakes here. Regular effort. Okay, that should be the same up here, right? Yeah, regular effort. Good. Alrighty. Down. Yeah, go ahead and disconnect me. Okay. Be able to take advantage of that while he's got the pin in the gear. So that way I don't have to worry about disabling the nose wheel or anything because with the pin in place, the nose wheel steering is free for him to tow, and it's going to be disconnected for
So
the
it's
rudder.
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
All right, you're the man. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Go ahead and turn off the APU. Put that nose gear on. That beacon should have been on. We can go ahead and position 1, which means as soon as this plane lifts off the squat switch, it'll automatically go to flickering. Okay. Brake check. Alright. Arm. Tierra. Okay. Avoid the leading edges. Okay. Okay. So I have to manually enter the brakes. Oh. Hey. They work. I meant to do that. Why does this airport look like kind of a, this is a junkyard portion of the airport? Hmm. bright Alaska sunlight, I gotta tell you. Okay. So it looks like we've got cleared for immediate departure once we make our turnaround. So I've got number one slightly higher than number two, which is at idle, to facilitate this turnaround. Okay, buckle in. Welcome to the Great Alaska Interior. Okay, we're going to be flying to a maximum of 320. Pretty high for this short hop to Juneau. I normally wouldn't, that's only 200 some miles. Normally I wouldn't go above 250, but hey, manager on duty said this is what he wants, so this is what he gets. lovely day here. Really clear. Let me check my curious about something here. Not that I'll be able to test it on this flight, but if I can take the Lua, fly with Lua out of one sound pack, if I can integrate it with another. Let's see. Okay. Good 24. Looks like we're at altitude now. Obviously, I haven't done my job, sleeping at the wheel. Well, it's a no smoking flight, so I really don't need to push that at all. Yeah, so that they can move around, get a soda pop. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll just leave it on auto. Leave the skill on. This doesn't even affect it at all. Okay, it means I have another setting somewhere else. Wow. Whoo, Nelly. Okay. I'm the pilot. Gotta love me, so you need to hear me. Let's see if it'll. Okay, let's just see. Okay. Alrighty. So let me get that around 50. I love the engine sounds, but it is kind of overwhelming, um, especially where I am here. It's like really. Okay, that sounds more okay. Lot better, much better. So apparently, okay. Um, not better. It does make you think of when I started flying 737s. Not a big fan of, as a passenger, not as a pilot. Um, Not a big fan of the interior noise because most of my childhood and early adulthood years, my first airplane flight was from Dallas to Alaska, and it was on a 727. And I've been flying mostly 727s. You know, every once in a while, say a wide body jet, a L-1011 or a DC-10. Well, not L-10s, a big DC-10s to Alaska, and from either Los Angeles or San Francisco or Seattle, but mostly from Dallas to Portland, Seattle, Anchorage on 727s. And so unless you're like row 20 to 22, which puts you back by the engines, you're pretty much going to have a quiet flight. Um, Usually if you're back there, it's either because you want to flirt with the flight attendants or you were late buying your ticket. Because most everybody wants to sit up or by the wing. You don't hear the engine. You can have a decent conversation, play cards or whatever. That's why they called the plane the whisper jet, because you weren't sitting next to the engine and hear the jet roar. And so once the 737s, seems like Southwest Airlines basically carried 737s when everyone else did not. Uh, like Piedmont, Hughes Airways, Texas International, they all use DC-9s. And then American Airlines, Eastern, Continental, Western, 727s, and then eventually MD-80s, MD-88s, MD-82s, 83s, and whatnot. And but then they didn't have a choice, but eventually go to 737s. And even, to me, it's like, yeah, the 737s look pretty cool on the ground. Um, I have, on occasion, when I was flying between, say, Oklahoma and Dallas, to save money, I would fly Southwest. So, yeah, I would be on the 737. But I really didn't like it because it was noisy. And so once the rest of the industry started, deploying 737s in their fleet, that's a noisy airplane. I'm so not a fan of it. I have a hard time, and we do nonstops from, say, Phoenix to Anchorage, and which I'll do for 5 hours, but 5 hours is a long time to be next to an engine. It's noisy. It's just a noisy airplane. And I kind of wish that they would get back to, um, which is funny because the 767s are pretty quiet, relatively speaking, and the 757s are relatively quiet compared to the 737 is just a noisy airplane to me. Um, okay, so we're going to start to prepare for descending now, and as you can see, we're kind of moving along like Superman over the ground. Let's set up for landing here. Okay, so coming into Juneau today, our winds. Oh my goodness. Gusts up to 34 knots. Please, let's be wrong. Please, let's be wrong on this. Um, let me get a better overall here because that's going to be kind of a fun landing if that been the case. So, yes, as a matter of fact, we're still going to be VFR conditions, but just as it shows here, we're going to be 090. Um, so winds out of the east at 18, gusts up to 34 knots. Visibility is going to be 10 miles. We have light clouds above 5,000. So it's going to be a beautiful day coming in for landing as well. Right now the temperature is -5 with a dew point of -17. We'll be okay. I'm pretty sure we'll be okay. Barometric pressure is 3040. So let's go ahead and get that all this information plugged in. Okay, and okay, so I just want to check we're gonna RNAV. I've got it set up to RNAV into Juneau, and so I'm looking. Minimum decision height. I want it as high as possible, so I'm gonna hit the 2340. Okay. So good. We're set in here. I just want to check with okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so we'll be coming in using medium brakes. When we do land, and one of the things I've always enjoyed about Alaska is it's a very arid climate. So you don't have to deal with humidity or anything. I haven't been in southern Alaska like Ketchikan, Petersburg. I haven't been there. However, when I have been in British Columbia, uh, as a child, I played hockey, Canadian All Stars, and so when I've traveled through Canada, I haven't really dealt with it unless I was into, say, and that was only in the summer, say in Toronto and stuff where you're looking at humidity. But Alaska is like humidity is something that you see on the map because it's not, you just don't deal with it. I mean, it's there, but it's not a measurable um, component of weather um, because it doesn't impact it or how you feel or anything. So usually, you're going to have fresh, clean air. There's only what, let's say in Anchorage, 75,000 people, and that's the largest city. I think altogether, Alaska's got less than 200,000 people for the whole state. So, not enough cars to put any smog in the air. Even in the winter, although I do recall my sisters letting me know that because when I was a child, um, because it is so cold, that what you would do is your morning routine, go out, start your car, have a fast idle on, go back inside, finish dressing, wait until the fast idle kicks off, which lets you know the car's warm. And usually by then, you're pretty much ready to go anyway. And you go out there. And so they did a few years ago. They did start telling people, hey, um, no more of that, because for a while there, Alaska was going through a boom. Didn't last very long, but they were going through a little population boom, and so they were looking at potentially, which once again, coming from a large city, going to Alaska, like really, you're 75,000 people. Even if all of you lived on the same city block, it's still not more populated than New York, Chicago, Dallas. So don't worry about it. But for Alaska standards, it was smoggy, so they kind of said don't do that. But that's how it's wide open. Everything is spread out, and so that's one of the wonderful things about Alaska is its fresh air. Um, there's hardly, you don't have to worry about in the summer. I take that back. My grandmother had really bad hay fever. Um, you could smell, like, say, because Anchorage is
Attention all
built.
aircraft. Altimeter 3028.
Okay. Um, is built on a swamp that they basically filled in, and so when the ground heats up, um, okay, when the ground heats up, you can start smelling the moisture as it starts to rise, and go ahead and turn on seatbelt since we're in. That means, all right, whatever cigarettes that you weren't supposed to be smoking, stop it. Okay, so we're actually descending now, but yeah, so that would be the only time that because the ground is moist because it's a swamp, and so um, when the sun rises, say in spring and summer, all of that humidity starts to rise. You can feel it and you can smell it. It has a very distinct aroma to it, and which is kind of neat. It's not the same as, say, the aspens or whatever, but because it's an earthy smell. But and so that would be, and for myself, it never affected us. But my grandmother was very sensitive to it, so she had a hard time, even though we're telling her, "Mom, there's no ragweed, there's no cotton, was it cottonwood or cottonseed or anything here, which is what usually triggers hay fever. There's none of that in Alaska. It's a different type of plant. Uh, I'm here in Arizona, which uh, when I first came here, that because apparently people came out here for doctors' orders because the air was very arid out here, and you didn't have all those pollens in the air that would do that. So for people who had health conditions, they would they would come out here with doctor's prescription, move to Arizona, and Alaska was the same way. Which I thought, why would okay, why would you move from Alaska to Arizona? The air is cleaner in Alaska. Arizona's got very dirty air. There's 5,000 people in the city of Phoenix alone, and it's a lot cleaner now. But when I initially moved here, you could literally see the dirty air. But you can see that in Dallas as well. Oh my goodness, in Dallas growing up, you could look directly at the sun until around maybe 10:30, 11, when it got above the layer of smog, and then you didn't want to do that anymore. But yeah, it's just that the smog was pretty heavy there, but you understood that because of the fact that you have a lot more densely populated, a very populated city, and you have all these cars on the road and all these people right next to each other and stuff. So you kind of figure, okay, this comes with the territory. But Phoenix is kind of surprising. It's a very spread out city, and so you don't have people sitting on top of each other. And either major Arizona cities, Tucson or Phoenix, I hear people sometimes complain about traffic, and I'm like, really? This is not a traffic jam here. Not compared to, I can sell hot dogs in Dallas make a good living on the side of the freeway. And as a matter of fact, if I didn't have change, since if someone needed me to break a 50, I'd probably tell them, you know what, let me sell a few and then I'll catch up with you and get you your change. Because traffic was, that was bad traffic. It was a parking lot until it moved. You know, in Dallas, uh, traffic was two speed, 0 or 80. And most Texans tried to do 80 plus if they could get away with it. The only time they slowed less than 80 was if a cop had pulled someone over and they needed to slow down to see if that was their neighbor or someone they know. Otherwise, they're going. Texas is like that. Um, Alaska's not quite as populated. It's a little bit. It's not Mayberry RFD. Um, it is a very laid back city. If you decide, you know, it's a great tourist location. There's a lot of things to see, wildlife in the city, and stuff. You just don't go try to pet it. If you want to live, you leave it alone. But when you know, like this is what February, so you're looking at Fur Rendezvous. If it's still going on, the Iditarod skate, dog sled race. If there's snow on the ground, um, or even if they even still have that, that's a global warming. Warming now, they probably just have a foot race from Anchorage to Nome. Not enough snow, but I I really miss Alaska, but I don't miss the remoteness of Alaska and the cold weather. I'm here in Phoenix. It'll be 80 something degrees, clear sky. People can go swimming if they want in the winter. So, so okay, we're okay. I wonder if it just had when they had updated that, if they just updated the information deck, you know, like you have information Zulu, information Lima, and so if they just changed it from one categorization to the next, and so they were like, oh, yeah, by the way, the altimeter now is 3028. Okay, that's wow. There. Okay, that's not a bad view, a bad default view, if you ask me. Um, oh, okay. When you're um, that a door? Okay. I'm gonna move a little closer to the window now. Okay. Okay. Okay, move a little closer again to the window. What I'm doing is just it's funny on how when you switch, like when you originally set up something, and either you're in a hurry or just at the time you're just not, you know, your preferences aren't set in yet, and then you come back later on, and and it's like I don't have much of a view. What was I thinking? I mean, I like to look at the animation on the wings as well, which is one of the reasons that I set this up. There are times where I like to have the forward camera actually kind of looking at the engine too, so you can see the engine, rotating. I don't know why I like that, but I do. And but now, it's like when I want to, like say, look at the scenery, look at the background and everything, but I got this big old engine or wing blocking my view. It's like, well, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but I can still see the animation from here because if you look over, you get to see the slats. I can still see if the TRs deploying and as well. So I'm good with that. Okay, so we're roughly around 10,000. I've got 13. Okay, so let's get some light action going on here. Okay, that was impressive. Get our map since we've already. Okay, so according to this, we're pretty close to making a sharp right and flying into Juneau. I've never been to Juneau. I've got family members that were activists that flew into Juneau all the time, and never been there. I'd like to go check it out. I guess it kind of bothers me a place that's uh, Juneau's like Bethel and a few other Alaska communities. You can either fly in or boat in, but you can't drive into it. And somehow that bothers me because that means if I have to get out of here by ground, I got to go on foot. And I don't like not having the option of getting behind my wheel of a car or an off-road vehicle and getting lost. So um, that's why I haven't been to Juneau. I love the tour boats. The windows are tinted. Like if you ever wonder why at nighttime why the view is not so good, it's because the windows are tinted. So even though Xplane may have a better engine for at night for night lighting, that's kind of the weird thing to me. It's like you want the kind of the illusion that you're in the airplane. So you want that. Otherwise, I'd be flying outside the airplane, Superman. And so you want that. However, if you want to really enjoy the night lighting or whatever the view, because some of it's going to be somewhat obscured by this opaque window, that you got to fly outside the plane to enjoy it. And, okay, we made our sharp right turn, so that means we should be getting down to. Okay. Okay, so we want to go down to flight level 340. My speed. Okay, I'm below. Sorry about that. Below 10,000 feet. So um, we're doing 240 knots. We can go 250, but I'm good. 240. Okay. So what we're gonna do? Come in here, and we should be able to see the runway from here. This is the largest aircraft. I looked because I was kind of curious about what airplanes will fly in and out of Juneau, and because it's kind of hard to imagine bringing a wide body jet and landing on that postage stamp. But apparently, um, not only can you bring DC-10s, but you can bring 747s in there as well. Now, I can't imagine a Dash 800, probably a Dash 200, maybe 400, but not 800. Um, but yeah, you can bring them in there. Okay. Getting close to the terrain. Love the detail. Love the squirt patches, like they had a burnout in a specific pattern. So it should be off to our right. We're 4,000, and we actually want to be lower than that. So why haven't we gone down? Thank you. Okay. Now I'm RNAV, so I don't have complete ILS control. However, or options here, capability. Okay, 37. We're still high. $10 out. Okay. The plane is trimmed to a nose high condition. We've got 3 greens. She's coming down now very well. Okay. Yes. Got the slats out. Mm-hmm.
2,500.
Thank you.
100 above.
Thank you. Okay, you can see the runway above. Yes, continue. Yes, I know.
2,000.
Okay. I know. We're hand flying it now. Arm. Get the engines into continuous. Okay. We're deploying the full flaps now. Love the full flaps. Thank you.
Terrain, terrain.
400.
Pull up.
300.
Pull up. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain.
Okay.
Terrain, terrain. Terrain.
Why does
terrain.
Juneau look washed out?
Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain.
200.
Terrain,
Mhm.
terrain. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain.
100.
Terrain,
Yeah.
terrain. Terrain, terrain.
50.
Terrain,
40.
terrain.
30. 20. Retard. 10. Retard. Retard.
Whoa. Okay.
Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain.
This was not supposed to catch air,
Terrain,
but we are landing.
terrain. Terrain. Sync rate.
5.
Okay. Welcome to Juneau, Alaska. Mhm. For some reason, our regular brake effort was not regularly braking. Um, these planes are pretty weird about that. Um, that um, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the ground here between the um, what looks like paved surface and being on ice in the terrain. Guess I can get rid of this. That should help me out. 52 minutes, so okay. Now the fun thing is that whenever Xplane registers icy conditions, it becomes a skating rink. So um, that's what it looks like. We're on here is a skating rink. So we're gonna have to really, as you can see, I'm actually on the brakes and I'm being really cautious because I'm trying to let it roll forward first because it's one to skid. See? Okay. So this is no fun when you have such a huge turning radius. Kind of hard to anticipate where the plane's going to go, but we managed it. Okay. Okay, so the brakes set as well. Got the APU going. Go ahead and shut that off. Okay. Alrighty. So that's kind of one of the joys of, I guess, Xplane 12 is that I've seen other people just kind of cruise around like no big deal, and I've been amazed because for some reason on mine, regardless of which computer I have set up here, regardless of whether I'm going to be in Detroit, Syracuse, Alaska, if there's ice on the ground, it's a skating rink, and I get it where they're kind of it's like okay, like in real world conditions, you're also going to be moving around somewhat tentatively, which is fine. I get that. But when I'm moving at half an inch a year, extremely slow, but yet I'm still skidding, then I'm kind of going, okay, can we pretend that they have a ground crew and they service the taxiways and runways? And so I'd rather have snow kind of piled up on the edge and because I grew up in Alaska, I've flown in and out during the winter. Um, I've seen better traction in real life. So yeah, of course, predictive weather's off. I turned it off. Sorry. It's a quick cut into the neighborhood, eh? Wow. Okay. Come on, buddy. We can do a better job. Is it? we go. Okay, so oh, sorry. I thought I had requested um, external power and chocks. Okay. Okie dokie. Welcome to Alaska, to Juneau. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take a look at that landing here. Let me save that flight just in case I want to come back at it later on and critique myself. Oh, I was getting something here. 1 hour and 3 minutes, so we're 15 minutes delayed. Not good. Well, I guess I can't be too angry. All factors considered, this is almost 10 minutes. Yeah, that was 10 minutes just getting up the runway. And that's just to get that view. No, we did 30. Overshoot the landing. So, okay, there's a touchdown zone. And we would have touched down, but I was trying to flare it out. And it decided it was catching more air than necessary. So, okay. Wow. Whew. Okay. No. Back it up. I don't know if you saw what I said. looks like a little displacement there. Okay. I don't know how to say this, but there's light. Oh my goodness, it's light from there. Woohoo! Okay. That's definitely not something you want to see every day. I think I should have put on the power. We landed at approximately between 110 and 100 knots. So it's definitely slow. Okay. Okay. Pardon me for 1 second here. There's something I did notice about. What I need to do the others. It's a beautiful view. Wow. The blue water makes you think, and it's usually when I see water this blue in Alaska, it's because there's a glacier nearby, like there. and this water is actually runoff melted water from that glacier, where it's that blue, where it's kind of aqua, well, kind of a blue green fuchsia. Got full flats. Okay.
People think that those that are overweight just lack self-control and self-discipline.
If I could have dieted and exercised my way out of this, I would have done it years ago.
Sorry about that. So that's since we have other programs that send notifications to you whether you want it or not. Let's just grace past this point. Now we can expedite getting there. To a Southwest Airlines taxi. There we go. We got negotiated pretty well, all factors considered. Skating rink. Oh my goodness, an Amber Alert. Okay. Alright. Juneau, Alaska. This is default beta. No sim heaven, just regular stuff. I think this is a third-party airport itself, but the scenery and everything here, this is Xplane 12. We have a whole bunch of ghost airplanes because, as you can hear, the TRs and everything of planes landing, and yet either that or that's the echo from mine several times. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the flight. hope you enjoyed the flight, and have a great day. Bye.